There are few things as foundational to your marketing as the 5 stages of awareness, and yet it is one of the most underused, underrated concepts in online marketing. So I'm going to walk you through what the 5 stages of awareness are, what it means for your marketing, and how you can use it to write better copy, to become a better marketer, and how to know what to say and when to say it instead of staring at that blank cursor on the screen. Hi, I'm Brittany McBean. I'm a launch strategist and copywriter, and I write launch and funnel strategy and copy for online entrepreneurs. But today, I'm going to give you a massive tool in your tool belt to help you write better copy for your business. The 5 stages of awareness is a marketing concept developed by a man named Eugene Schwartz in the 1960s. Normally, I love to hate on the marketing strategies developed by those old white men that we're still using today, but this is a good one, so we're going to hold on to it. The 5 stages of awareness is really a diagram or a chart or a flow chart of explaining where a reader might be in their stage of awareness as they go through your funnel, as they are reading your copy, because the person who buys your offer is fundamentally different than the person who is seeing your Facebook post for the first time, or your YouTube video, or your Instagram, or hasn't even met you yet. Your readers are on a journey. No matter what you do about it, they are. You can't help it. And so the most important thing that we can do is understand where they are on that journey, name that spot, and speak to them directly where they are. So we're going to start from the least aware and move all the way through the most aware so you can understand these 5 different stages. Stage number 1 is unaware. That one is pretty self-explanatory. That is someone who is pretty much unaware of a problem. So you want to think of each of these stages in terms of a problem that somebody is having and the problem that you solve. So when they are unaware that they have a problem. I do not recommend that you spend time and effort and money marketing to someone who is completely unaware. That's where your free content is going to hit. It might bring someone into the next stage of awareness, but you're going to be spending a lot of money for somebody who doesn't even know that they have a problem. So even if somebody knows that they are having a challenge, they may not know that a better way exists. That is someone who is problem aware. So think about somebody who wants to learn how to play guitar, right? So their problem or challenge is that they don't know how to play guitar, but if they haven't already started the process of learning how to play guitar, they haven't tried other solutions, been frustrated by how difficult it is, how difficult the hand positions are, they haven't taken an online course and then also bought a book on it and is so frustrated with all of those, they may not know that there is a problem in learning how to play guitar. They are unaware. They just want to play guitar. They don't know that there is a problem around it. Or maybe somebody who is like really tired and exhausted, but they have no idea that it is a nutritional problem or a gut problem or a fitness problem, right? Maybe you're somebody who sells something in one of those areas. So somebody who is completely tired and completely exhausted, but completely unaware of how or why they would fix that, they are unaware. That's not where you want to be spending your efforts in terms of your messaging. All right, the next stage is problem aware. So we went from unaware to problem aware. The problem aware person, quite simply, is someone who is aware that they have a problem. So they're not yet aware of solutions. We're going to get to that next, but they are aware that they have a problem. So they didn't know how to play guitar. They started playing, trying to learn how to play, and it's really hard. Now they have a problem. Or they've been tired their whole life and they used to think that this is just how everyone was, that everyone was just this exhausted. But now they've started to hear a little bit about how gut health has something to do with that. And so they are now aware that maybe there's a problem going on with their body that is keeping them this tired and this exhausted. This person is aware of their problem, but not yet aware or actively seeking out the solutions, the products that could solve their problems. When someone is solution aware, they know that they have a problem. They know that there are ways to solve or fix that problem. So this means that they are likely aware of a lot of different solutions. And so when I say solution, I mean everything from a free app to a high-end coaching opportunity to buying a book on Amazon. There is a product and offer a solution out there that they could actively seek out, buy or download or grab, and it could help solve their problem. They just don't know what they want yet. They don't know what is going to solve their problem, right? They don't know where to start or maybe they have taken a couple steps and downloaded that free app and it didn't work. So now they need to know what solution is next. So not only are they aware of the problem, they are actively seeking to solve that problem, but have no idea how to do that. It is likely that that person who is solution aware doesn't know you yet. At the top of your funnel, so your free content, you're going to be mostly speaking to people who are problem and solution aware. Next, we have product awareness. So when we were talking about solution awareness, they are focused on the outcome, the final result, the final desire. They don't know what's going to happen in the middle to get them there, but they're here and they want to be there. When they are product aware, they're here, they want to be there, and now they are looking at all of these different solutions and offers that could get them to that place. And they are starting to decide what it is, what step they are going to take to get them to their final outcome, to get them to that solution. This is a place when they are product aware that they are most likely aware of your product. And they are weighing your product and your solution amongst other people's. So before, the difference between solution aware and product aware, solution aware, they're aware of that outcome. And they understand that probably some products exist to get them to that outcome, but they're bought in on the outcome. They're not actively weighing out and comparing different solutions, different products in order to get that outcome. When they are product aware, they're looking at your product, somebody else's product, and maybe a third one. And they are looking at the differences, the details, the promises, which one fits them better, which one is going to be the right one to get them the solution and the outcome that they are looking for. When they are most aware, so the fifth stage is most aware. So we had unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and now they are most aware. You can think of this as like bottom of your funnel on that checkout cart, ready to buy. They are aware of the solution and the outcome. They're aware of the different products that can get them to that outcome. They are aware of your product. They have looked at the details. They have studied the fine print. They have spent time getting to know you, and they believe and trust that you are the right person to help them and that your offer, your product is the right product to get them the solution that they want. When they are most aware, they are aware that you are the product that they want to try, and they just haven't made that decision yet. So you can see that the person who is unaware is very, 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 very different than that person who is most aware. And your job is to make micro shifts in your content and in your copy to walk them through each stage of the journey, so that they may start at one stage, and by the end of reading your copy, they're at the beginning of the next stage, and then they read your copy again and they're at the beginning of the next stage, and they read it again. You get it. You're walking them through the journey. Okay, so how do you know where your people are? Because if you come right out of the gate, assuming everyone is product aware, and you are just like in front of a cold audience, in front of people that don't know you, naming your product, selling your product, which I see a lot of online entrepreneurs do, they start with the name of their product. You're gonna miss a lot of people because other people may not know what that product means. They may not trust it. They may not trust you. They may not even be bought in on the solution that that product provides. So you have to know where people are in each step of the way so that you can write to them, so you can enter the conversation they're having in their head. A good indication is just, where are you putting out this content? What are you writing? What copy or content are you writing? People who are digesting your free content, Instagram, a freebie, YouTube, podcast, all of that top of funnel free content is most likely going to be problem and solution aware. You're going to have people stumbling upon your free content that are unaware, and they might become problem aware. You're going to have people stumbling on your free content that are problem aware, and they might become more solution aware. But at that top of funnel content, they are going to be most likely problem and solution aware. So you can bet that you're speaking to those people. Now, once we get a little further into your funnel, and so when I say funnel, I mean the process that someone would go through to buy your product. The process that warms them up, creates belief shift, develops some understanding, and gives some education around your topic when they are in more of the middle of that funnel. So they have watched a YouTube video, or they've listened to your podcast, and now they've clicked on your freebie. And so they're starting to look a little bit more into how you specifically solve their problem, right? Or maybe they have signed up for a webinar or a challenge. They have taken the next step in their journey with you. They have said, I have a problem This person solves that problem. I want to know a little bit more about how they do that. Now we're moving them into that second half of solution aware and more product aware. They're becoming aware of you as a brand, as a person, as the offer that you put out into the world and the way that you specifically serve and help people. So if you are creating that middle funnel content, so the content after the free content and before that checkout cart. So think about like the webinar, the challenge, the like maybe more in-depth freebie, all of that stuff. And sometimes, of course, sometimes freebies are solution aware. Sometimes free content is product aware, right? You have to understand what you are saying in your content and your copy, but this is a good place to guess what you should be saying at each step of the way. So once they are in that middle of the funnel, they're going to be way more solution aware and product aware. At the very bottom of your funnel, so your sales page, your launch emails, your sales sequence, your checkout cart, those last few steps that they take before they buy from you, they're most likely going to be product aware and most aware. So those are the people you are speaking to. Now we know what the 5 stages of awareness are, how and where those people might be when we are writing copy and content to them. Now, what the heck do we even say to those people? It's not that difficult. People, human beings, make decisions emotionally. We justify them, or back them up, or solidify them logically, which means at the first half of that stage of awareness, the first 3, people are going to be making emotional decisions. They're going to need to be having emotional conversations, not hyper emotional, just conversations grounded in emotion. At the very end of that stage of awareness, the last 2, the bottom of your funnel, people need data. They are going to be making their decisions logically. They're either backing up a decision that they've already kind of made emotionally, or they need to see more in order to feel confident buying. So when someone is problem aware, quite simply, they need to see their problem reflected back to them. They need to know that you understand where they are. Do you get them where they are right now in their challenge? Do you see them? Do you understand them? How can you reflect their challenge back to them so that they know that you get them and therefore you can probably solve this problem for them? When they are more solution aware, they need to see the solution, paint the outcome, paint the picture, paint that future vision. How can your solution get them to where they want to be? Paint that dream state, right? So that's where we're in the more emotional part of our messaging. When we're speaking to the problem, we're painting the picture, we're future pacing, we're giving them a look into the outcome and what life could be. Now, when they're into product aware and most aware, you notice I didn't mention unaware because I don't think that's a good place to spend your time in your strategy. When they are product aware, most aware, so reading your sales sequence on your emails, on the checkout cart, this is when they need to start to see like the details and the differentiation, because they're now comparing your offer with somebody else's. So help them understand what exactly is inside your product. What is inside this solution? How is it different? How is it better? How are you infused more in it than maybe that app? What does it offer? What details are included? Differentiate it from somebody else's offer. And when they are most aware, right about to click that buy button, again, they need that data, that logistic and logical fact based decision-making opportunities. So this can be something like social proof, right? And that could be anything from a testimonial to an actual like statistic, like the people who take this are 75% more likely to do this or experience 30% more growth. Anything that counts as data is something that proves that this works. This is what you need. I can prove it right here. So that is at a high level overview, the 5 stages of awareness and how you can use it as you're writing your content. You need to understand where your reader is when they're reading your copy. You're only speaking to one reader at one stage of awareness. So write to that person in the copy or the content that you're putting out there and help guide them to the next step of the journey. If you can do that, you're going to be able to create some really beautiful transitions, connections, belief shifts, and at the end of the day, conversions. So go forth, all 5 or 4 stages of awareness out there in your marketing content, build those relationships, connect on a deeper level, and lead people to your buying button. All right, let me know if you have any questions about this at all. If you want to know more about any one of these stages or want more copy examples, feel free to drop it in the comments. I will make a video. Don't forget to give this the thumbs up and subscribe so that you get this dropped in your inbox every single week when we drop a new video. All right, I'll see you in the next one.